Hi, this is Julian, civil rights attorney in Chicago. I'm gonna react to a scene from Menace to Society. It's a scene that if you've seen this movie that you're really familiar with it. It's a scene where Kane is interviewed by the detective after the robbery that him and the other individual, whose name I can't remember right now, were involved in. The guy that was played by Lorenz Tate. So I'm gonna react to that scene right now.
I didn't even have a record, but when they fingerprinted me, the cops matched my prints to the ones from that bottle I dropped in a liquor store the night of the robbery.
Very ominous. All right, I'll pause it. All right, so we're gonna put aside the fact that he has the weapon out and all that stuff like that. I mean, that's, those could clearly be reasons that you could potentially file a lawsuit for, but let's put all that aside. We're gonna focus on the actual interrogation part, and the part I really wanna talk about is where Kane decides to talk to this detective. So put aside all the other craziness that's going on in this scene, and let's just focus on that.
Now listen to me, you little bitch. I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions and I want some real simple answers. You understand? Let me get this right. You bought the bottle of beer about 11:15?
Yeah, I bought the beer and I accidentally dropped it.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it right there. The reason why I wanted to talk about this clip and why I wanted to kind of show it, despite the fact that it's from one of my favorite movies, but it highlights a really good important point here, which is that you should not be talking to the police without a lawyer, especially if you know you have something to do with what they're there to question you about. Why would you want to talk to the police about it? You would never, hear me clearly, you will never be able to out-talk a police officer. You just can't do it. I mean, these people are trained to investigate crimes and to get people to confess to crimes. So if that's their training, you're not gonna out-talk them. You're not gonna talk your way out of being arrested. The only thing you're gonna do is create incriminating evidence against yourself. So the best thing you can do is to exercise your right to remain silent and not say anything. Now, in this clip, the individual, the officer, the detective didn't Mirandize the individual, meaning they didn't give him that warning that you have the right to remain silent and anything you say against you can be used against you in a court of law. Kane was not given that warning. But even still, as a citizen, I'm telling you, if nobody ever told you, you should never talk to the police. If the police want to talk to you about a crime, that's because they likely believe you have something to do with it or you know something about it. So the best thing you can do is to save yourself and not talk to the police. And it doesn't mean that I'm against the police solving crimes. That's not what this is about. This is about you as a citizen giving yourself a fighting chance so that if the state decides it wants to prosecute you and deprive you of your freedom, that you give yourself the best chance possible to defend yourself in court. You don't want to make it easy for the police and the prosecution to put you in jail. Give yourself a fighting chance. If they want to take your freedom, make them work for it. So always remain silent.
You bought the bottle of beer at 11:15.
At 11:15, 11:15.
Then why wasn't the bottle cleaned up? Why did we find it still there, spilled on the floor after the shoot?
After we was leaving, after I left, other people was coming in. When we was leaving.
But you don't remember what they
looked.
But you bought the bottle of beer definitely at 12:15.
Yeah, it was 12:15. Exactly. If I'm not mistaken, it was
Now
12.
you see something? Now you see now. You done fucked up, you know that thing.
I
See what I'm saying?
No, I thought.
No, so, you know what I'm saying? That you done fucked up now. You know that, don't you?
The more questions that cop asks, the more I thought I wasn't
I
gonna.
mean, is it just me, or is that everybody's favorite part of that scene? I don't know why it gets me every time, but here's the point with this video, which is that you should never talk to the police without a lawyer present. This is actually one of the kind of the things that my father would use with me when I was a little boy, just to impress upon me the importance of always keeping your mouth shut. He would always say, you never talk to the police. There are no good police officers. Not to mean that police officers are bad, meaning that all police officers have a job to do, which means that if they're talking to you, they aren't there to help you out. They're there to investigate a crime or to possibly lock you up. So the best thing you can do is to keep your mouth shut and ask for a lawyer. And this scene really highlights this really well. Now, in the movie, Kane was a minor, so he actually needed to have his parent there. But again, this is Hollywood, so we're going to suspend our disbelief for a little bit just to continue watching the movie and to talk about it. But in real life, a minor would need to have their parent there before they are questioned. Also, just from this scene here, you can see how sometimes people get really scared because they're talking to the police and they feel like they need to tell them something to try to get out of it. The best thing you could do is just don't say anything. What I always tell people is that if they're going to arrest you, they're going to do it anyway. No need to give them what they need to finish up their investigation. Another thing I tell people is that if they had everything that they needed to arrest you, they wouldn't be talking to you. So the fact that they're talking to you means that they're still investigating. Don't give them the next piece of evidence they need to prosecute you. So the best thing you can do is that if the police want to talk to you, or if you find yourself in a situation where the police are interrogating you, if they ask you, do you want a lawyer? You say yes. If they ask you if you want to talk to us, you say no. If they don't ask you if you want a lawyer, you still say, I'm not talking to you without a lawyer present. Don't go out like Kane did here. You don't really want to go out like that at all.